Come on, Fitzy.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan. Today we are doing another simple signal stream. Also, before I go into this, please, I'm still messing with my mic settings because I'm trying to make it the best I can. So if it's not very good or anything, or something needs changing, do let me know. Other than, I think today's gonna be a good day. You can see by the price right now, 69,328 for Bitcoin. We do have an interesting chart to go into today. Not only Bitcoin, obviously, the other coins as well, Ethereum, Solana, and so on. I believe I might also be covering Kronos coins today. I'm not too sure. But in general, if you have a coin you want me to cover, please do put it in the chat and I will have a look at it live on the stream. Put it a couple times depending on where you are, so I make sure that I see the coin and I can actually cover it. But other than that, I think I don't want to dwell on the intro too much. I think we should just get started. And thank you for joining me today. So very good news. I mean, yesterday, not yesterday, day before when we did our stream, we were in the dumps. Obviously we've gone to the charts in a minute. It's been a very good chart day today. So we're in the dumps. We're about 67, whatever it was. I can't exactly remember what price. We're in the dumps. Remember saying, oh no, I think we were in the dumps. Or was it yesterday we dumped? I can't remember. We'll get into the chart anyway. No, it was Monday when I thought we were going to hold. We absolutely dumped. Obviously, I did preface this on my Monday stream anyway. When there's a day of news, or a week where there's news, obviously today's going to be the news day, obviously 8 PM my time anyway, that's UTC +2, UTC 6 PM, so depending where you are in the world, it will happen in, what was that, 8 PM, so about 4 hours time, there will be the FOMC meeting, which is going to be huge. Obviously, as I explained on Monday as well, there's always going to be front runs and news-based times where you either pump or dump, and I said this on Monday, I don't like trading weeks where maybe the day, if I'm really confident in the news or you know, I'm watching it live, maybe I might trade the day, but during the week and especially the day or two coming up to it, I definitely don't really like trading because it is definitely out the hands of of chart patterns or actual data. It is more risky to trade these days. Obviously, if you trade them and you're successful, that is your prerogative. But in my opinion, anyway, it is a lot harder to trade those sorts of days when there's, or the days before when there's news coming out. And that subsequently why we had this big old dump for Bitcoin, because of how speculative we were for the Wednesday news, or today's news anyway, coming up in a couple of hours. So it's risky, but we're back to basically where we were anyway, which is good. I didn't expect us. It was an offset based on news. I didn't expect us to be staying down there. Obviously, if it was a price action-based move down, then obviously I'd be a bit disappointed. But also I'd be confused because, based on our TA we did on Monday and kind of what we looked at, there was no really big inclination that we were going to come down towards where we came to. But obviously, news-based movements and things like that, we did come down to there. So I'm not surprised we've moved back up to 439 now, actually. We're probably starting to form a couple of handles, so depending on how the news goes in the next, probably looking on the lower time frame hours, we'll look to see if there's any something like that, which would give us a budge positivity for Bitcoin. But let's get into the charts in a minute. I'm going to look at the current prices. So Ethereum, 3,622. That's, not too crazy up, I don't believe. Oh, it's up. Obviously, you can see by the little charts here, everything in the market's going to be slightly up anyway, because of, what's going on in the market in Bitcoin, and so on and so forth. Sorry, I need some water. If I have a consecutive, if I speak for so long, I just start slurring my words. Okay. And Solana nearly back to $160. 6% up in the 24 hours, which is very good. We're gonna have to see my lines again if I want to see exactly where we are. But again, I'm gonna move $627 for BNB as well. I'm gonna probably have a look at that as well. I'm quite interested in that sort of movement for that. Let me just have my earpiece in for my mic. I want to make sure, because I changed a bunch of settings to try and make it sound good. It doesn't sound too bad. I don't think I'm lagging. Oh, I think I'm lagging. I think I'm back. Okay, fine. Okay, so it sounds alright, thankfully. But again, if it is bad on the stream end of things, then do tell me. But anyway, let's actually just go on to the charts. I think we're going to move on. So, on the 4 hour here, on the daily, obviously we are... this is good, actually. I'm glad we're doing this formation on the daily, because this is going to be a ginormous daily order block. Now, so if we print out, by the end of today, at 69,548... Now, obviously, this is the thing, because... this whole dump and pump was in response to the news coming out today. So I don't believe we're going to be just casually printing at 69,548 because of, the news. We're either going to be dumping again or back down to where we are, or pumping. So it's going to be a difficult one to tell. And I would have loved us to hopefully print out the final today at 69,550, because it would give us a huge order block below us anyway, and then we would be able to use this as big old support, or obviously it would be support, should be support. But again, I don't think we're going to print that because of the news is going to come out today, so I don't think it's going to hold or anything like that. But anyway, I want to go to the 4 hour because there's not really much to look at on the daily anyway. So let's just go on to 4 hours. So I believe the last time we looked at it was about Monday this time. So we're roughly here. I think I did it at 5. So we actually... That's weird. I drew this order block even though... When did I do my TA? I think it was Monday, right? I streamed on Monday. Oh yeah, I drew this after. Of course. I drew this after the stream anyway. But we were kind of in this formation, high highs. And then we broke above. And then obviously it was like, oh great, we're breaking above, and then obviously we just came back down because we hit the order block, which again I'm not surprised at, because again chart patterns positional, not or direction, not really positional or any other thing of the sort. So I'm going to delete these lines now. Probably delete this line as well because we've already used that, and this line because we dumped, obviously because of the news. It's hard again. Like I always say, it is very hard to trade news-based days unless you're really active in what's going on. But so we've had consecutive movement upwards. So what I'm seeing currently is we've kind of got an arc here, which is good. So, and this is why I need to pay attention to the lower time frame, because I want to see if we start to form something on the downwards, something like going towards 68.5. And then in a normal, and this is the thing, this is in a normal scenario, but we didn't have news. We would pump based on price action alone. We have our cup, our arc, which both stop at the same line here. And then if we started to do this, this kind of handle, I suppose, then, we would, print down probably towards, maybe 68.5, something in that area. And then we would pump. But again, this is the problem. We have the news coming out. So as much as I want this to happen, either A, the news is negative and we break out of this and it's all gone wrong, or B, the news is positive and we, follow this pattern and then we actually pump. Then I'm like, oh, great, the pattern happened. But I can't really apply the pattern to the reason we pump because the news is positive. So again, it's hard to do trade. I should probably do a stream on Thursday. You know what? I'll probably do a stream Thursday as well tomorrow because this is a big week. Because I want to see the aftermath. Because I'm not going to be streaming later today. I am going to be streaming later today. Not in terms of charts though, because I'm doing a review as well. So do check that out if you have the time and are available. But I will probably do a stream on Thursday because of the fact that the news is going to be coming out and the resultant of that news is going to be pretty huge, probably for the market in general. So I'm going to be doing a stream then to just see what's going on with the price, and hopefully it's a positive thing. However, I think jobs came back. Basically, there's a bunch of news positive, which kind of skewed the way we expected. Obviously, I wasn't too caught up on it too much, but I don't know if it would be a rise or not, which would not be a very good thing because of how positive the news was on. I believe the jobs were in America. I believe it was quite positive, although I hadn't really looked at it too much. Probably look it up now, maybe later after the stream. But I believe it was all really positive, which again doesn't really give a good outlook on how the news is going to be in terms of interest rates. But again, I guess we'll see when the news comes out. But got to be careful there. But anyway, let's go on to. It's quite hard to say because I think today should more be about where we've moved and analysing that instead of where I think we're going to go. Because there's not really much I can do in terms of looking at where we're going to go because later on today's the news, and that is going to orchestrate the entirety of our move. I can say, oh look, we've got if I go on the lower time frame, we've got higher lows here. We've got higher lows here. Woohoo! We've come back up now. We might retract a bit. On the 1 hour, we might come back down to 68.5 and then come back up again and pump, which would be great. Or not pump, but come back upwards again. That would be cool. But again, there's no point because in 4 hours the news is going to come out. So the best I can really do is like 30-minute analysis. And the best I've got for 30-minute analysis is that the fact we are going to probably crab a bit, maybe, and this is the thing why I think we might follow through with this chart pattern. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to start to follow through this chart pattern, and then we're going to have the news. We're not going to have enough time to follow through with it and actually, act upon the news or act upon the, cup and handle chart pattern if we do start to form it, that is. So I don't really think there's much use in doing any sort of analysis in that regard. And like I said, I think the best we can do is really just look at, how we did in terms of looking at market cipher as well, just seeing, what sort of things it was showing us, which is great actually as well, because I think for Bitcoin and bigger, when you look at market cipher on so many other coins, normally the case is, you can have these, inner movements, and especially on the higher time frames, it matters more, past the 60 mark on both regard, if you actually pump and or dump, and come down. But it was really good. Obviously, this was, it kind of just applying. It's hindsight is, a great thing. So it's kind of cheating to say, oh look, we had a big old momentum move upwards and money flow start to come in, and VOP was really going up the entire time. It's cheating. It is really cheating. But nonetheless, I can't ignore it. We were coming upwards for the market anyway. So it is cheating for me to say. But we did have a really negative momentum wave trend or whatever coming up past the 60 mark. Obviously, money flow starting to come in as well from the ARC and VOP coming up. So obviously, if you were to analyze this on the 4 hour, you probably would have caught it here and probably had a nice little 3%. Obviously, if you did like a 10x or something, or some sort of multiplication on Bitcoin, because trading Bitcoin, unless you've got a lot of capital, it's pretty hard. You would have got a nice trade there. But again, this is the best. I have a feeling this stream's going to be looking at a whole lot of coins and not really a lot of analysis, because there's not a lot I want to do anyway. I don't really want to lie and say, oh yeah, I know where we're going to go, because no one really does. I mean, no, we can have a provocative on or kind of an understanding of what the news is going to be. But what I'm saying is I can't really just analyze that where the price is going to go solely based off price action because of the fact of the news. But let me go on to the other comments, because I haven't actually got the other comments up right now. So give me a moment. I can get it up. There we go. Okay, put that there. There we go. So, but like I was saying, it's hard to say where the price is going to go because of the fact that we've got the news coming out, and there's not really much point of me looking at the price action and chart patterns or this, that, the other, any sort of data when that is going to be completely ignored based on if we're going up or down, based on positive or negative news at 8 p.m. my time anyway. Obviously, depending where you are, in 4 hours, 4 and a bit hours, or 3 and a bit hours. But yeah, I mean, this move was good. I'm glad we moved up. Again, the best I can apply to this is really the fact that we've got this going on, probably a small little... Actually, let me draw it properly. Got this going on, probably a small little thing, and we'd probably come upwards towards 70,000, have another run. I believe Mike said in our TG, obviously, check the descriptions out if you want to go check it out. In our TG, that, we'd probably have another run at 70,000, which we're currently pretty much having right now. But again, it does it's if we print properly at here or not, which we're kind of doing, but again, it more matters on the 4 hour. And we've got an hour and 45 to print here, so unless we hover here for a bunch of time, which we might do or not, I think the best we do is Wix at 69,800. Obviously, this is a huge order block, especially on the 4 hour time frame anyway. So I guess we're going to see, I suppose. I think we should move on to Ethereum though and see what's going on there. So again, it's very similar movements to pretty much every single other thing. This was also the fact that we completely dumped. But we also had our print below and our kind of sweep, I suppose you want to call it. We actually came lower than, and this is interesting actually. I was going to draw this on Monday, but I didn't because I didn't think we were actually going to come that low. We came to our low point. Now, if you know anything about what I talk about in terms of these low points and whatnot, when you have a reversal... Actually, let me go back to Bitcoin quickly, because I'm wondering if Bitcoin did something similar. If there's any low points. Well, technically there was, actually. That is pretty interesting. You can see, oops, we have this low point here, about, obviously, where we came to. Pretty slightly below it and then reverse. So we had one of those little things. When you absolutely dump and or pump, you normally come to a next point of high or low, and then you kind of like, depending on what sort of strategy or analysis you like to do, you sweep it or whatever. You normally come towards it and then pump or reverse anyway. But you can see again similar thing with Ethereum, really low market cipher momentum. Crossing towards positive at the same time when you first start to come up and V up. Really obvious signs, and the RSI is coming up. Really obvious signs that we should be going up, and obviously it's not really too much surprise there. It's like, oh, we should be going up right now when we've come all the way down towards 3,400. So not really something crazy to say there. Also bouncing off of our near-ish low point here, about 3,660-ish. So we're kind of just in the process of moving up. We're kind of just in the mud right now. But again, there's not really much analysis I want to be doing on this, based on the fact that in 4 hours we've got the news coming out. So it's quite hard to say. I just kind of really wanted to look at a lot of coins and just look at let me just draw this actually. I just want to look at a couple coins and just see how they've reacted to the market. Might have a little. I think we might have a little pump before the news, based on we've kind of got the chart pattern going on. We've kind of got a bull flag, I believe this is. We're bringing chart patterns up. We can have a little mosey. We can see that we've got bull flag. There you go, bullish flag pattern. Pretty obvious one. Job there, just joined. Hello, I'm glad you can join us. As I've been saying throughout the stream, this stream isn't going to be as much of a analysis on where we're going to be going, because I feel like I'll be cheating everybody by saying I know where we're going to be going solely based off chart, price action, because of the fact the news is coming out, as most people probably know, in 4 hours time roughly. The FOMC meeting's happening, which will just completely orchestrate how the market's going to move. So I'm not really going to bother doing so much analysis on the price. However, I can look within, I think the best 30 minute what I'm going to be doing today, normally I do 4-hour daily. I think today I'm going to be looking at the 30-minute and trade and trying to look for trades within the next 4 hours, or look at what we might be doing within the next 4 hours. CBAN news has been released. I believe it is. I believe it's later. Yeah, 2 p.m. ET. So I think. So if we do, so UTC is 4 hours ahead. Yeah. So at 6 p.m. UTC. Hold on, wait. Yeah. I'm not wrong. Yeah. So UTC +2, which is where I am anyway, will be about 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. UTC, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever it is, will be the FOMC meeting. Anyway, not the FOMC meeting. So you know that will be a bit more of a matter of the fact anyway. Has it been? Oh, so that's been released as well. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean that probably explains why we've moved so crazy within the last 30 minutes. Actually, has it really? Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to tell myself it. I'm just going to pay attention to this, which is this kind of bull flag, which I'm kind of seeing right now, which could, you know, allude to the fact that we could have a mini little kind of, you know, pump towards 3,700-ish area. Again, I think this will happen hopefully before the news. I reckon we're going to go up a couple more percent within the news. Does Bitcoin pump like a bear trap? Well, I mean, to be fair, it's what I've been looking at is the fact that it could become handled. Actually going up pretty nicely right now. That I think it's could have a cup handle, which we could have a possible cup handle. I think on Bitcoin you can see coming up now. We might be bouncing off the midpoint, coming down like this. But as I was saying though, I don't really care to look at the news like this. We're also really overbought on the 30-minute anyway, so probably over the shorter time period anyway, we're probably going to be coming down at some point, which will probably lead us to maybe a 1% move down. I think we're going to move down a bit for Bitcoin. Obviously, there's a 30-minute, by the way, just to pay attention to. We're completely overbought in every regard for Bitcoin. Money flow is also coming in, but RSI's actually started coming down and is continuing to come down. So unless we start to arc, I could see us. We've also got red dot, to be fair, also overbought. Seems like a lot of longs will be liquidated if inflation rates. Yeah, I agree. I was saying as we were looking at the chart and the FOMC times and whatnot. I believe I haven't looked at it completely. I've heard it though. I believe the job market was really, has really improved in America. I believe there's a lot of figures which have improved, in terms of the growth of the economy, which is, good, but will probably lead to higher interest rates, which won't be good. Obviously, if people have more money and whatnot, as a whole, obviously that will lead to inflation. Obviously, big old circle. Been a while since I did economics, but a big old circle of crap, which will lead to. But again, this is what I'm thinking. The news, it might lean towards a not positive thing, which might lead us to a bit of a downwards movement. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. But that's why I think we might have runs at higher prices, and then probably a bit of a dump. But again, I mean, as I was saying, we do have this kind of possible cup and handle if we start to print it. Is what I'm trying to watch out for. But this will be completely overtaken by the fact that we might have, a pump or dump based on the news which is coming out. So again, I don't really want to pay attention to it too much. But yeah, if it is negative, which it might be leading towards, then a lot of longs will probably be liquidated. Absolutely, I agree. I guess it just does depend on where we get to in the market before the news comes out. But again, going back to the 30-minute, this is the best I can really look at. A small little top right now. Obviously, we're kind of coming upwards right now. We're testing towards 70,000, probably a wick towards it. But we do have our midpoint, which I definitely think we're going to be printing below. I don't think we're going to be printing above 70,000 right now. I don't really see any reason for us to do that. But we're starting to we have the potential to arc really badly right now. Obviously, this is on the 30-minute. So I guess we'll see what's happening with this. We might wick to 70,000, but I don't think we're going to be printing above 69.8, whichever it is for the midpoint, because of this big old order block we've had for a while now, which we've been using pretty well. So I think we do start to come down probably towards 69,000 for Bitcoin over the next 30 minutes to an hour. So I guess we'll see for that. But let me go back to Ethereum though, where it looks like we might be having something like this, a little bit of a flag going on. We do have the red dot as well. Pretty much most of the markets have done the same thing, so their market ciphers and whatnot are also looking very similar. But I think we might follow through this a bit, probably towards 536. Maybe start to have the pump towards 3,700. But if Bitcoin is having its run at 70,000 and it's looking pretty positive, we might break out of this a bit sooner and start to come upwards. For Ethereum. But that's the best I can do. I'll probably post in the TG. I think I can say Telegram actually. I'll probably post in the Telegram when the news comes out at 8 and have a little look at the charts then, because it's going to be pretty crazy. What I do want to look at though is Solana, because I do want to see how we've been moving. So this was right. So I thought we're either going to come down to okay. So this was the market situation, because we were in this negative movement. So we're in this I believe it was a bear pennant, but obviously we kind of broke out of it and then we just dumped. But again, I don't want to try and it was a chart pattern which caused this. It was just news, or it was a front run. It was, again, it's hard to trade these sorts of days, especially when news is coming out on Wednesday or today, I suppose. But again, we came down to our low point instead, our lowest point of line over here. Oh yeah, I need to delete this actually. But yeah, we came towards this line, which is good. I mean, another support point we've had for a while now, which is good. And then we've come all the way back up to pretty much where we are now. So we had our negative movement and our positive movement from what it seems like. But we're back in the range we were in anyway, about here. I'm going to delete this line though, because we've kind of already used it. There's a lot of lines here. I'm going to maybe delete some of these, especially this one. I'm going to keep that one, probably delete this one, keep that one, and probably delete this, because that was already something which has been there. So now we've kind of cleaned it up a bit. Again, it's very similar in terms of market cipher. Low momentum going upwards, money flow coming in, VL coming in. Very simple, very simple. Moving upwards and RSI's coming in. It's very simple. Obviously, it makes sense. I completely oversold since our move down from basically Tuesday morning, coming into now. Obviously, we're back in our range now, in this big old area. I do think if we have a bit, if we do have a print up here about 163.86, if we do kind of surge upwards, definitely reversal. But I think as a whole right now, I think we just stay in this range. Obviously, the midpoint being where we are right now. I don't really see us doing something crazy. We don't really have any sort of chart patterns. I will go to the 30-minute though, to be fair. Again, nothing really of interest. It's hard to say. Obviously, we technically, as of everything in the market, because everything's done the same, we do have our kind of arc here, potential to be moving down, however it is, having our movement, hopefully having a move upwards towards wherever. But again, let me draw a vertical line at 8. So this line is when we reach the news, when the meeting happens. I don't know if it's like later in the meeting. I haven't really watched one in a while, but I don't know when it exactly comes out. But in this rough area within here, at least, let's put this a midpoint about 8:30. I don't know when it exactly comes out. Obviously, there's some blibber blabber whatever through it. But in this area, if we do this, obviously the news is positive, then I don't want to attribute us pumping to a chart pattern, because it is going to be solely based off the news. But if we are starting to form this, however it is, having a little like red green really closely, and then we have positive news, then technically it would have followed through with the chart pattern we have. But again, if we don't, we're just going to be dumping, and it's not going to be very pretty at all. But again, everything's done the same. It's quite hard to do anything different when everything's done the same, because every single Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana have all done pretty much this. I mean, I don't know about Ethereum actually. I think Ethereum's done the same as well. I think, remember back to the charts, everything's done this sort of movement, this arc. Bitcoin's done it, Ethereum's done it. All potential to have a bit of a downtrend now for the next coming minutes, or next, maybe hopefully, I don't know what time frame. Maybe something like this. I'm hoping for anyway. That we kind of do this. We have our coverage right now, and then we hopefully pump. Maybe another anticipation little pump upwards towards maybe 165. I don't think we're going to go too high because we do have this big old order block we've had for a while now. Also, don't think we're going to exceed anything we've seen in a while. We do have 8 to pay attention to. It is going to be very hard to do this, I suppose. It's going to be very hard. So I'm going to leave this here though, this arc and these lines. I've just absolutely butchered that. There we go. I'm going to leave this here because it's the best I've got right now. But again, weeks later here. I'm glad you're here. Again, the market is looking terrible. I feel good. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing good. Hopefully everyone else is. Actually, let me check the comments on a certain other place. Looking good. Actually, have a quick drink of water. Yeah, like I said, before I move on to probably look at BNB to see what's going on with there. Same thing with everything in the market. We've all got this kind of cup and handle as we're moving into it right now. Ethereum does have that bull flag though. I just hope we have a little bit of a, if we do have these chart patterns, we do move before 8 p.m. or 8 p.m. in my regard. In the next 3.5 hours, I do hope we have the movement before anything else. We do have this kind of hoverage and then move upwards towards 165, and then come inwards towards the higher end before we either dump or pump, depending on what happens with the news. 4 billion volume. With what? One. While I'm waiting, I'm going to look at BB. I think I did it on this chart. No, I didn't. Okay. This one. There we go. Okay, there's a gap there, weirdly. What have I done here? Okay. So, what did I draw? I drew this. Obviously, everything dumps in the market, so we didn't follow through this and hold this. Just wait for it won't rise. How so? But anyway, going back to this. So yeah, we started to do this. Obviously, everything dumped. And then I've obviously come up, as has everything else. Obviously having difficulty probably at this top point. Wicking to it and now printing below it. As we're coming along with it now. So again, I feel like I'm cheating because I'm not saying anything. The IO token. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I was supposed to look at. Oh, I'm supposed to look at that. Let me have a look at it actually. Okay, yeah, I'll look at that chart now. I'll look at it in a minute. Obviously, I'm going to look at this now just to see what's going on. I will look at that in a minute, don't worry. But again, I feel like I'm cheating because there's nothing, there's like no difference, and I hate these sorts of days. And this is why I said also at the start of the stream, roughly start the stream. I'm probably going to do a stream tomorrow as well, just to see the aftermath of the news and to actually do something, because all 4 coins I've looked at have had the same movement. No surprise there. So the best I can really do is just look at what's going on. Obviously some things are a bit later in the movement than others, but the best I've got is just to apply the same thing to every single chart, because that's all I've got, especially since we've got and also the market cipher is the same thing over and over again. Money's coming in, but VIP's been coming down. VIP's been coming down for a tiny bit now, but we're completely overbought, obviously in our RSI and our momentum. So a down movement probably have some sort of retractment, especially seeing as though we've had, especially or in this coin, for example, BNB, a 4% move up anyway. Big old green wick though, or big old green candle upwards anyway. So probably some sort of retractment, probably bouncing off this top point for BNB anyway. I think in general we'll probably have some sort of retractment. But in most markets, in the most of the charts we've seen, we've either got some cup and handle, possible printing, and on Ethereum we've got a bull flag. So what my guess is going to be that before the news comes out and everything happens, we might have a bit of a movement upwards, just to see out these sort of chart patterns and potential moves. But I do think as of in the next 30 minutes to an hour, we should be moving down at least a tiny bit to test some sort of support. Seems like how completely overbought we are in every regard. But to be fair, all this movement downwards was an offset. It wasn't really a price action based movement. It was more of a speculative move. So it might not necessarily follow chart patterns and data as closely as normal market situations may do. So, I guess we'll have to see from there. Let me actually have a look at the comments. We've got a lot now going on. Any hope that alts might catch up? I'm stuck with so many alts. Lost from FML. I hope so. I mean, what alts do you have? Obviously, it depends on what you've got and depends on what the market cap is. Just name some and I'll look at them. Let us know which indicators you use. Yeah, absolutely. So we have some significance as well, which is our I would use it, but problem is it follows my lines really well. Like here, for example, we've got this line, which is great. This line, the percentage of it follows the middle point. We've got here over here, which is similar to my line down here. So with my some significance, which is Crypto Warehouse's own indicator, I don't have it on my stream as much. I should probably advertise it more. And it's free as well. I don't really give it. Again, up here we've got the same situation up here. The padding, the symbol significance, it gives the same support resistance I normally draw anyway, so I don't really use it too much because of the fact that I draw the same things it does. But it is handy anyway, and I do use it often. It does draw lines up here. It is a combination of multiple things. It does go off the volume profile and actual price action as well. So you can see when it wicks to places, it does take that into account. So it's more of a nuanced support and resistance drawing indicator. So if you do want this, message me on Telegram. We might have links in the description. I should probably put it in the chat actually. Because I'm not selling it, it's free. You can just take it if you want to use it. I did use this a lot because it's just so easy. But in terms of that, it's more of Mark Cypher B. Now this Mark Cypher, I have given it to only you as well. So if you do have any questions only you as well, just let me know throughout the stream. Yeah, it is a great indicator. It is a reimagined and re-engineered version of Mark Cypher B. So if you're familiar with that, it's a lot of money, but I recreated it for Crypto Warehouse as our own indicator. So, I use that as well. But lately I've been trying to keep it simple. I just want to, test out some new things. And I've been just kind of trying to go based off price action and whatnot. But, Mark Cypher is great. Mark Cypher is lovely. Like, I have been using it a ton in a lot of my trades, especially in the past as well. And you can see it is very, obviously, it's quite, it's cheating to kind of apply it to here right now because it was an obvious scenario that we were completely oversold. We should be coming upwards anyway. So, but it is more market cipher and kind of just support resistance and order blocks. Order blocks are huge. I love order blocks. They help me out. We'd love to use it. I'll send it you. I believe you're in the Telegram. I'll send it you. You know what? I can put. You know what? Let me put it in the chat. Actually, I'll put the links in the chat now. I might as well. This is more of a relaxed stream because I'm not really doing too much analysis because there's not really much for me to analyze. But I am streaming later today, doing a paid review. So if you're around and you want to come watch it, you can. But I'm doing it anyway. It's about I believe it's 7 p.m. my time, UTC +2. So that's about 5 p.m. UTC. So right, okay, I'll send it in the chat now. So for everyone here, you can check it out. Because I'm not selling them. I just made them. Obviously, I made it for the channel, made it for me, but also made it for you guys. I thought it would be useful if everyone could kind of use, if it's not the same thing. I would like to understand the RSI movement and how to use. Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second there. I'm going to paste the links in the chat, and then I'll kind of talk about how I look at order blocks and whatnot. And also for everyone here, I am going to be planning. I'm planning them now. Obviously, I've got this microphone. I'm trying to make my audio sound good because I plan to make some, a series on like things I look at and how to use Mark Cypher or how I use Mark Cypher and just general things I use throughout my trading. So if any of you are interested, obviously I'll be doing that hopefully soon. Just kind of showing my process and explaining how I use them and how people mostly use them throughout. Because a lot of people use Mark Cypher. Obviously, it's not the exact one-to-one replica, but a lot of people use Mark Cypher, and I kind of want to show how people use it and how I use it. So yeah, I will be doing them. So don't worry, I do plan them. I'm planning them actually right now of what content I want to provide in the videos. But before I do that, let me bring up the links and I'll send them in chat. I'll send significance and Mark Cypher B. But again, you can use what you want, especially if you're on the free tier of TradingView. You only get like 3 or 2 whatever indicators. So I won't be offended if you don't want to use all the things I send, but I'm going to send them anyway. So here's the first one. Here is the main one, the big dog. And then here is some significance. Now, with Mark Cypher, though, there's some settings I have changed. I don't know if I have them applied to the script or not. So if it doesn't look like my one or whatever, just message me and I'll send the settings. But only back to that I will show... Can you make videos on stuff like the risk management strategies for long-term investments? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can do some DCA videos. I think me and Michael actually plan to do some when we're in the office. Actually, make some videos about DCAing and kind of general risk management strategies. So I can make some videos on that as well. But anyway, there are the links to the scripts. But anyway, back to order blocks. So let me go to like a fresh chart, like Bitcoin or something. I'll show you what I look for like order blocks. So here's a perfect one. So this is the 4 hour. So an order block is kind of a direct movement in both directions. I've kind of explained it badly there, but this, for example, this right here is an order block. It is a equal movement up or down, basically. It is this. So obviously there's multiple strategies out there which use these order blocks. Thank you. Don't worry about it. There's obviously a lot of strategies which use these order blocks. Some apply, there's also fair value gaps. I never really got into fair value gaps too much though, because I never could identify good ones. Obviously I should probably do my own research. This is a technically a fair value gap. It's that's not what I'm talking about right now, but it's there anyway. But order blocks, this is something I took on as something I really enjoyed to use, because they're very simple to recognize once you know what you're looking for. I think they work really well. Sometimes they don't work. Obviously, the more equal and uniform they are, the better they are. But I try to use them as much as I can. So this is an order block. We haven't actually come back to it, so we haven't really tested it as resistance. But okay, let me find a good one actually. Let me find one in the past so I can actually show you how they look. And these order blocks, they last for a long time, and I'll explain how in a minute. I mean, there's kind of one, but we kind of wicked above it. It could be pretty decent. I'm not gonna use that one. Sometimes they work. Most of the time they work better than others. Here's decent. Have we ever come back to this one? Kind of. So this looks like a slight order block here. Now you can use them on different time frames, and they can apply to different time frames as well. Here we are. So you can see we're using it pretty well. We're even using it right now. So this is a good order block. This is a good example. So you can see it formed here. Pretty. Well, let me even it out a bit. I can't even see that. I want to try and get as even as possible. There we go. So this is an order block. You can see really equal high and low here. Past here. Now, I do want to explain another thing, which I do sometimes explain previously, in other streams, is changing order blocks from support resistance, because you can do that. It's called a breaker block or mitigation block, some people call it. It is this movement. You have to do some. Okay, so let's say you've got your order block, this one right here, and it is resistance. What you have to do is why is that black? Hold on, let me fix this. There we go. So this is the only way you can transform an order block into support from resistance. So this is resistance. You normally bounce off the midpoint of it. The way you have to do this, you have to have a quick surge upwards, stopping wherever, maybe some other resistance point, wherever. You have to come back to the midpoint, roughly the midpoint, about here. You have to come back to test its support, and then it's called a breaker block. Then, let me just so it is then a breaker block. It is basically the flip of an order block. It is then support, and I'm going to show you examples now over here of what happened. So you can see this is a good example. We had the quick surge above the order block. We never came back. We normally have to come pretty much immediately back. What does an order block indicate? It indicates support or resistance. Obviously, you've got the tops of wicks. Like up here would be a good probably resistance point. Down here, consistent. You've got consistent bounce points. But I think order blocks, for me anyway, they do work quite consistently as support and resistance. For me anyway, they work really well. So it is basically support and resistance. And obviously, you can read. You either normally come to roughly the midpoint. The midpoint is normally the strong point of the order block, but you can bounce off the top and the bottom of it. It's basically a general sell area if it's support, or if it's resistance, or a general buy area. But you can see in this example, we never came back to test the order block. So if we did, let me just redraw it over here. If we did this, right, we did our movement, but we did this and we came back, it would then be a good support point. But we never did that. We just came right up. We hovered a bit, whatever. Never tested it, and then we surged below. And that can happen a lot of times. So if you want to, the retest, a good trading strategy might be, if you want to keep it simple, flipping an order block, coming back to test it, and then longing. That could be a good strategy. That does happen often. Because if we surged upwards and came to test it, you could long at about 70,726, and we would probably come right, all the way up to 71.5, whatever. But in this scenario, you can see we never tested it. We came right back down, and then what happened? We bounced off the midpoint, bouncing multiple times. Tried to test, try and get back up, but then we stopped ourselves at the top point. Then used the bottom point, and then it was just resistance. Coming back over here again, resistance, resistance again. The surge. Here we go, another one. If I go to the lower time frame, you probably see it better. Where are we? Here we go. Here, perfect. This is perfect. So now this is a good example of an order block. We surged, and then we came back to test it immediately, test the general area, and then we start to use it as support. You can see if we come across support there. Really, really good. Now, interesting with this, if I go to the 4 hour though, it would be a bit better. Now, this is it was an order block, right? So it is, when it flips from a breaker block back to an order block, it normally can still be used as resistance because it's an order block, right? So when it's flipped, in this scenario, it's back to an order block. So we didn't necessarily come back to test it. We just use it as resistance. But when it's going towards a breaker block, or AKA a flip of an order block, you have to come back to test it. So that's kind of the order block. So you see this one, we formed this one, we haven't come back to it. We, directly came off of it here. You can see, kind of came to the area, bounced, formed it, had difficulty. So this is a good order block, which I expect us to have some sort of resistance at in the future. But yeah, that's kind of, order blocks. But in terms of the RSI, what was the other part? RSI movement. Yeah, so okay, so the RSI movement, I kind of use the RSI. I kind of just use divergences. So you can bring up, just bring up a divergence chart and read it based off here. There's normally only really 4 scenarios, and then that's how I really apply it. And it works, it does work pretty well a lot of the time. So you can see also what's really nice about Market Cipher as well, if you do use it, it can apply divergences, really well for you. So for example, over here, we had a divergence here on the bottom of things. You can see this was a hidden bullish, but a hidden bullish normally is a downtrend thing. Actually, to be fair, you can see that a more applicable one, to be fair, is the tops of here. You can see up here and then down here from the momentum, which was more of a negative one actually, which is what happened anyway. As you can see, bearish divergence here coming down. Obviously, we just actually dumped. So you can use divergences. I normally more look at the momentum for divergences, but I do also look at the RSI. You can apply it, but I don't really look at that too much, to be fair. I haven't really looked at it in a while. But that's order blocks basically. That's pretty much it for order blocks. I think I still have this line actually, because order blocks can last like for a long time. Obviously, sometimes they can, be ignored. Yeah, I've got this one on my chart as well. Over here it's a lot messier. But back here I think is a daily actually. I'll show this breaker block. When did I have this one? Again, also a really big order block here we've had for a while now. Had a breaker block here, I think on the lower time frames, which we've flipped now, and we're just constantly testing it. So yeah, there's a lot of order blocks which happen, and they do happen quite often for me anyway, and I do love to use them. But anyway, I am going to go on to probably some lower cap coins now. Probably some Kronos coins one. Watch guy KW, I don't know if you're still here. Obviously, I know he's talking about his alts. It'd be good if he said one, so I can look at it, but yeah, oh well. Anything could you review? Yeah, I can review anything. Actually, you know what? I will look. If you've got any in mind, tell me. I do want to look at beer because it's been a while since we looked at beer. And then we had oh damn, we had a really big old pump, which I think I drew. Okay, this is really messy. What did I draw? This is awful. Yeah, okay, we had our expanding triangle, which is good, and then we bumped. Okay, I'm gonna delete all this because I just don't even know what I'm looking at. This is awful. Okay, we flipped that. So we bounce, and then we just kind of like hovered on where we are right now. So I suppose I could do some analysis on where we are right now. Oh yeah, Brett. I will look at Brett. I think I did a trade on that, or not a trade, but I think I did. I think I analyzed that last stream. I think it was pretty good. That. I just got some significance. Very interesting tool. What do the colors actually mean, and low and high level labeling? Yeah, so it's just our channel colors. You can change whatever you want in the settings. The yellow ones are support, and the purple resistance. Anything above is going to be resistance. Anything below is going to be support. The high level and lower level are just significant levels we've seen, like the highest level of support and like highest of resistance. Now, do bear in mind, though, with similar significance, you know, I could probably show it with this one. Okay, well, if I go to the higher time frame, it needs data. You can see it's NaN. It doesn't have enough data to actually go off. Obviously, you can draw it yourself, but it needs some volume to actually go off. So you can go to the lower time frames, and you can see, you know, we've been using this bounce here, hovering in between these ones. Kind of a bounce off this one multiple times at 3856. We seem to have one as well at 2344. Obviously, you know, the low level. That's how I show you. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. So the high level is like just the highest level, you know, we've seen. You know, so we can see this 5960. This is the highest level we saw for Bitcoin. Obviously, coming back down to the low level, about 154. This was the lowest level we've seen. So that's kind of all it really is. It's just the highest and lowest we've seen. Master Ash, hi, bro. Hello. I'm glad you can join us. If you've got any coins as well, actually, I think I should post this every time someone comes. I should probably have it on the screen somewhere, actually, in like the top corner. But if you've got any coins you want to cover, let me know. But it seems like we've kind of had a big old, you know, bullish trend line. I'm going to apply it to here though because we kind of dipped, and now we're starting to use resistance here, which is good. It seems like we've kind of had, you know, trend line, the bounce, and now we're probably going to start to come down. Probably a consistent level down here. Maybe a bit of a dump for Bitcoin. Probably actually coming towards here, having our surge, and then maybe another one here. So we've got some consistent levels. Probably like a come down, come up a bit, probably some sort of higher low or lower high, kind of come down like this. Something like this, I think, for Bitcoin. Quick analysis though. You can also see for market cipher, money flow is really coming down, VWAP's coming down. Obviously the momentum's changing, but it's not from a high position. But the money flow, and also another thing I'm going to add to my video as well, money flow matters a lot more in the higher time frames. VWAP, if you're looking at the minutes, like really low minutes, VWAP's really something really good to look at. We can see, you know, money flow is really coming down, and the VWAP. You've got, you know, some confluence. Everything's really just coming down. So probably a decent move down towards some sort of lower levels for Beer. But anyway, let me go on to Brett. Now I can't remember what we had on this. Oh yeah, we had our shorts. Yeah, we had this for a while. We kind of got this going. Oops. Let me get rid of that. So we've kind of got that going on at all, but it's slightly there. Yeah, it's not really something too you know, applicable. But you can see, you know, interestingly as well, we came down from our short, which is good. I expected it to kind of happen a bit higher again. But to be fair, you know, we kind of had our third bounce here, so you know, it happened anyway. So our short occurred, obviously came a bit lower than here, but I think I actually had this level because I had it over here, but I wanted a bit more conservative, which it was. Obviously, we're now coming back up now. Again, another really good order block here. You can see we're using the top line of support right now. You can see here, so a good support point anyway. I'm going to delete this line as well from the neckline, and delete this as well. So now it looks like we're kind of like coming upwards a bit. Obviously, you can see money flow's coming in, which is great and all, but the VWAP's coming down, and more importantly, the momentum's starting to actually arc, and it's near the 60 mark anyway. So a decently high point. So you can see every time we've come to a high point, the momentum's been a really high point, and it's started to arc. You can see here, you know, it was warning us that we should probably be coming down. and then obviously we start to come down again over here. This red dot means a high point, which is important as well. A high point, an arc, money flows coming down. Really good situation here, really good short. So if we go assuming ourselves along, we're near there now as well. And this little red dot normally means like a local, like a really small local top. So it seems like this area is a decent local top. However, interestingly, we have formed this support point. So maybe we might have a bit of a crab. We might kind of hover a bit for Brett. Because, again, as I explain, say often, Market Cipher, or Market Cipher B anyway, is more of a directional tool. What I like to have when I try and do analysis, I try to have, maybe 2 or 3 things which kind of tell me different price levels of like support, resistance, and whatnot, order blocks. And then I want to have things which tell me directional. So obviously you could, go off the back of certain strategies kind of use like liquidity points. So obviously like high and low liquidity points, coming to those scenarios and printing below and reversing. That's a good strategy. That could work. But obviously for me, it's more so market cipher and trend lines, depending on where we're going to go to. So that's kind of my, what I kind of like to look at. Also, we seem to have this starting to form a thing here. But again, we do have our negativity probably bring us down. So we might not form cup and handle. When the V-up comes down, it means there's a cooldown in the movement, or does it mean a pullback? Well, the way I like to explain it, or the way I like to think about it for myself, is the V-up. So there's each thing precedes each other. So first is the V-up. So you can see if we bring up the Mark Cipher tool, you can see the V-up. It really moves. It's a really like rapid tool. It's like a machine gun. It really just moves here and there and everywhere. But when you have a consistent movement, so I'm going to show it like this. Let me find a good example actually. So you can see, okay, here for example, here's a good strategy. So here you can see we have a lot of we have just general negative. Also, you had a bit of a movement upwards, but we just have a lot of movement down for V-up. You can see it's just constantly coming down. This started over here, but our momentum was still coming upwards. But then it starts to arc. So the way I explain it, okay, I'm just gonna say actually, the V-up, it precedes the momentum, which precedes the money flow. So as the V-up's moving crazy, if you have a consistent movement downwards for V-up, it starts to kind of plant the seed of negativity. And then, once you start to have momentum arc downwards, and it's above the 60 mark, which normally means it's a significant point of, we're pretty overbought at that point. We should probably start to come down. And you can see, obviously, in this case, it actually money flow starts to arc a bit, at the same time as momentum, which is convenient. But it's not always the case in that regard. So you can see it starts to arc over here, and then money flow starts to arc down here. So, and again, similar scenario, the V-up was moving down consistently. You can see coming upwards momentum. You can see V-up's been coming down for a while now, and then the momentum's still coming up, but then it starts to arc, and then it starts to come down. So the V-up's more of it's a kind of like a rapid tool, which you can use on the lower time frames actually. If since it's so rapid, it changes candle by candle. So if I go back to the chart now and kind of show, oops. And this is more of the case, and this is also another thing I say. On the higher time frame you go, the more money flow matters, and the lower time frame you go, the more the V-up matters. So on the 1 hour, it's not very important. If I go to the 5 minute, it might be a bit better. I'll need to see though. So you can see here, for example, here's perfect actually. So if I bring this up, you can see down here where I've circled, or roughly circled, you can see this V-up, it starts to come down, and then the money starts to come down. So my phone's just randomly turned on. So you can see it's doing its thing, whatever. It's coming up. But here's a good example. To be fair, obviously there's different things like the momentum, but just sort of looking at the V-up here, it starts to properly come down, and then the money really starts to come down. Then it starts to arc a bit, obviously trying to show signs that we should have some positivity, and then it starts to arc. Obviously, money flow does matter in this case as well. You can see it's coming down, and then it arcs, and then it comes upwards. Obviously, it has some occasional turns here and there, but again, a minus 100. If I saw this, if I was in this scenario on the 5 minute, and I saw that our momentum was at the minus 100, money flow starts to come up, and V-up's coming up, I would long 100% of the time. Obviously, again, hindsight is a brilliant tool, but it would have absolutely just rocketed upwards. So you can use the short time frames with Mark Cipher and get good entries as well. But if I go to an example maybe over here, you can see V-up's coming down. Obviously, again, you can't just look at the singular VWAP. It's you can't just look at one thing and solely base your trades off that. It is more of a combination thing. But the VWAP does kind of transact how each coin's supposed to be moving, or each wick or candle, sorry, is supposed to be moving. So you can see, like, as it's coming down, you've got some more red candles. It starts to come up over here. You see more green and green and green, and then had some arc down here in this area. It's red, so it's kind of it's better for the shorter time frame. But market cipher, it moves itself and its time frame based on what time frame you're using. So you can see the 1 hour is a lot different than the 5 minutes. So you can genuinely use most things on the lower time frames. But also bear in mind, the 5 minute and the lower time frames can move a bit more rapidly. So momentum might be a bit different. Dedicated video explaining these. Yeah, again, like I said, I'm planning to do this. I'm planning what content I'm going to produce. And obviously, I'm not as concise right now because I need to properly think about what I'm saying. Yeah, you can genuinely use most things on any time frame. Like you can use the money flow if you want the 5 minute. It matters more so on the higher time frames, but you can use it anywhere genuinely. Like if we go to the 5 minute, like here right now, you can see it's starting to come down. This is coming down. VWAP's coming down. But as I've already explained, it is a directional tool. We can see we're using the top line of this order block, as I've just drawn, as support. But we could, seeing what we have right now, and we're starting to come down, I would think we could slip down towards 16,810 and test that support. That is more than viable. But as I've already explained, again, the market cipher is a directional tool. It tells you roughly what direction we might be going. It doesn't tell you, what price we're going to be going at. Again, also on the 5 minute, things can change. This is a lagging indicator. It's not like if you're looking at price action or trend lines or whatnot, that will be faster. That you're directly looking at the price. Market cipher, it needs to print. So you might be late by a candle or two, but looking on the lower time frames, to back up your higher time frame TA, that helps as well. As you can see right now, it's just printed. We now have positive movement. I'm going to change my mind. We might be going up now. So again, it's a lagging indicator. But you can see on the 1 minute as well. If it loads. Here we go. So yeah, I said on the 5 minute we might have negativity. Well, on the 1 minute, 3 minutes ago, we start to arc upwards, VWAP's coming upwards, money flow's coming upwards. So it's handy as well to bear in mind. It's very handy to back up your trades and your TA on the lower time frames if you're trying to look for an entry. Obviously on the 5 minute, you'd hopefully be looking on the 30 minute to try and find a trade on the 5 minute, if you know what I mean. So you can see right now money flow's coming in, which is great. VWAP's kind of stagnant, but we're pretty overbought. So a potential bit more movement upwards. I don't see too much more anyway. That's on the 30 minute anyway. Again, also here, money flow is coming upwards, but you do have to pay attention to what's going on with momentum anyway. But anyway, okay, let me actually go back to doing TA on this. So finalizing what I was saying, order block, we've got this good support point down here, probably coming back towards the 17,417 area as a test. But again, we do have pretty good negativity here. VWAP's been coming down. If we really bring up the market cipher, VWAP's been coming down since here. Market cipher, or the momentum, sorry, has actually responded to that now. We probably have some sort of arc soon for the money flow, probably around the 6. Obviously, this is the 1 hour, so probably the 6 mark. But again, if you look at the lower time frames, that might be a good point of entry. If you're seeing negativity on the higher time frames, you could probably go to the 50 minute and look for a negative short potential. You might see, okay, well, right now we're not looking very short. Money's coming in, VWAP's coming in. I wouldn't want to short right now because we do have potential high movement on the lower time frames, which is why I think we might move up to the 17,431 range and then come down. So I think we still have a bit of room to move upwards, and then I think we come down. But again, like I've prefaced with pretty much every single, we've also got an order block and an order block here. That happens often as well, actually. When you've got you can actually get order blocks which form within the scenario of an order block. So you can see here, we've kind of got this here. Just another backup support, a backup to, prove to you that this order block's good. But I do think we might have, let me get the path out. On the lower time frame anyway, something like this. I think we do have a movement like that. I think we might have a test at 17,415. Maybe a wick, a bit above, maybe. But again, as I've prefaced throughout the entire stream, when the news comes out, it's going to change everything. So I don't want to do too much TA on the higher time frames when news is going to be coming out. and potentially be really positive or negative. So again, we're gonna have to be careful there. I probably might be a bit active in the Telegram when the news starts to come out. So if you guys are awake for the news and want to see what's going on, I'll probably be on the trading area on the Telegram. I'll probably maybe post some charts or whatnot as the news is coming out and seeing what's going on. I might not do another stream because I'm doing another stream at 7 or in 2 hours to do a review. So I'm not going to be doing it another stream. I'm just going to be doing probably some posts in the trading area. But I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go back to Bitcoin now. I don't really have any other coins to cover. Actually, I'll probably look at... Oh, no. We'll look at Trump coin, actually, just to see what we're doing right now. Because we had a really good short, which was nice. Seemed like this was a really good area. Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to have a glimpse at it, see what we're doing. Nothing really too interesting there. Going back to Bitcoin now, though, obviously... yeah, we're printing back here. I mean, we could have a potential print down here, wick down there, test towards 70,000 again. Oh, yeah, IO. I was supposed to look at IO, wasn't I? I will look at that. I think it's this one, right? IO.net. I'll look at this really quickly. Not too much data, so I'm going to have to go to like a really low time frame. So what do we have? We've got a decent order block out the conception, which kind of orchestrated what we're doing. You can see right here, very nice reaction to the order block. Resistance, support, resistance, support. Then we've rocketed up. Again, we're kind of in price discovery. So what my little sneaky little method is, I apply. Oops, that's the wrong thing. I'll do this, something like this. But again, that's too high. So I like. Okay, it's a bit of a cheating thing, but I'm clicking the wrong thing. God damn. I do this right, and then I bring it to a point where it respects most areas. So something like this. See, kind of having difficulty there. It's not too accurate. Okay, here's good. Bounce off here, bounce off here, bounce off here. Okay, good. Here we go. Now we've got ranges. So now we can try and figure out what prices potentially might be significant. Now, I know this is cheating, but this is the best I've got right now. So we've got these price points within here. Okay, so we've got those two. Very nice. Obviously, we've got where we are right now as our potential. Might also have something, here. Or actually, I'm going to draw a rectangle because it's not roughly, here. Here we go. You can see you bounce off the midpoint there. So we've got some sort of support there. That's pretty good volume, actually. That's very good. See, trend line. There's not really too much of a trend line going on here. Kind of. See, bounce and bounce. Probably, having a distance over here. Maybe coming back to it at some point soon. Potential to come up to here, possibly. But, now we can try and apply market cipher to this. RSI, oversold. Money flow, I mean, we are oversold in terms of momentum, but money is still coming in. And this is the 15 minutes, so, you might have to pay attention to more on the momentum side of things. So, again, this is a newer coin, so it might not necessarily follow the market as accurately as some things. Let me just try and, find some sort of trend line. Got a nice trend line here. Boom, boom, boom. Surpassed it. Probably coming back to test it, I would expect. Because that normally happens, obviously. When you have a trend line or something like a pattern, you can have something like this and you just come all the way up to a high point. So maybe something like that. Obviously having this shorter trend line here, where we could probably bounce off there. And then this will be an expanding triangle. So this will probably bring us up to this next point, where we'll probably continue to kind of surge upwards. But again, you've got to be careful about these. Wasn't this token talked about on the stream a few days ago? I don't know. A few days ago, that would be... Okay, Saturday was the 8th. Was it the 8th? Because I was on that stream. If it wasn't, then I probably wasn't on that stream. Then these Mike talks about it. It might have been. I think it was. I remember you guys talking about it in the Telegram. Let me scroll on. Yeah, so there's talking about there's an article here about the IO coin. Apparently there's scamming allegations for it though. So I don't know. I mean, if it's got a scammer behind it, I obviously wouldn't want to trust it too much. Don't remember the date. I mean, that's alright. I don't remember talking about it though, to be fair. But I mean, this is what I see right now. Obviously, if there's a scammer behind the project, then you don't want to, get into it too much. But there's I think there's something like this potential. I think we come back to test this higher high trend line to kind of give us a boost. But again, this is what I'm decently confident in that. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I sent that. Oh, was that the photo? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. So it's the graph 2018. Yeah, okay. Well, I wouldn't want to invest in something where there's got a scammer behind it. However, this is what I see so far in terms of the market. So this is the best I've got right now. I think we do come back to test, 5.2, maybe not 5.4, something like that. Test this bullish trend line here, just to give us a bit big of a boost. That would allow us to bring our momentum a bit more down, because we are pretty overbought right now. Money flow is starting to hover. Things are starting to hover. If VUP starts to come down, we're seeing right now it's hovering a bit. If this Princeton starts to come down, I do think we have potential to come to test this support point. Possibly wick down towards 5.25, some sort of support point down here. I do think if we continue to follow this trend line, which we're in right now, we would have expanding triangle potential. If we go to show you the chart pattern real quickly, you can see it's kind of hard to see, but where is it? It is ascending triangle, whatever, expand triangle, ascending triangle here. You can see we have this trend line for our higher lows. Obviously, this resistance point, in theory, following the chart pattern, it would hopefully bring us up above this. So, from what I see so far, this is 15 minutes as well. So, possible potential, profit within where we're going right now. So, possibly. What thanks for the Marga. Got 20% on that, 30% already. What, did you long or short? Oh, were you asking for the? Was it the other one on deck screener? I forgot about that one. Was it this one? I believe it was this one, wasn't it? Right. Oh, there we go. For long right. Where did I do TA from? 9th of June. What day was that? Sunday, Monday. So short. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So. Was it this one though, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. So it actually came a bit out, but we came above obviously. So order block, support. Okay, this is risky actually. Well, we're back in the range at least. Obviously, we tested below it. I mean, I'm glad you made profit. Obviously, again, I always have to press to everybody. None of this is financial advice. I'm glad you made some profit. I'm glad for that. It seems like we actually came back to test this order block, which is good. So it seems like we're having difficulty. I'm gonna re-up some TA on this. So we came down as I expected. I didn't expect us to come, test below this, but we did anyway. Obviously we did a good thing though, or bad if you longed wrongly. We come to test it as resistance, but then we had another surge. Risky though. We haven't come back to test, but we do have potential though if we do that. So we do have potential. Got to the 1 hour though. You can see we're really straying away from our. Oh no, we haven't. This is good. Okay, we've tested it. This is good. So now we're coming upwards. Bounce off that. Oh damn. More potential there. Boom. Some good support there. Rough range in here. Obviously bouncing off there. Could have potential to kind of bounce and continue to go upwards again. Potential. Obviously, I mean this isn't very big. I mean it's 10% is pretty good actually. Probably support down just a bit below. There's actually another order block, mini one over here. See, we slightly used it there. So yeah, I mean, it seems like we might be testing a support, maybe even coming down to here. Anyway, whatever. I'm glad you made profit. Anyway, let me move on back to Bitcoin. I'm gonna bring the Bitcoin chart up, and then do my outro because we have been streaming for about an hour now actually, which is good. So It goes to 4 hour. So, very interesting time. What's going on? Yeah, I didn't expect us to break above this. We're coming back down now, which is good. We do have the potential. Oops. We do have the potential of a cup and handle, but I don't really think. Do you think it's recessed at 24? Actually, let me go back to it. I think so. I do think so. I think that's the one I just looked at. Or that's the level I think I just looked at. 24. Potential. There is actually potential, but I mean, we do have this line. But yeah, to be fair. Let me think. Down. I was thinking there's like a lot of like, you can see like there's a lot of like consistent like test of here of some sort of like area of support or resistance. So I'm thinking there was something here which I think we're bouncing off. So I want to say that there's something within this range here of support, which isn't even where we are right now. I think we come down. You know what? I do think we might come down to plus 25.5. You could long there. We could come back. It's let me have a think. I'm trying to see if there's anything consistent like a resistance point. We've already wicked up to there as resistance. But to be fair, you know, if we're still in this range, if I shimmy this down. Wait, didn't I look at this on the high time frame? We're technically still in the range, to be fair. If I shimmy that, still got this range, boom, boom, coming up now. Seeing difficulty at this area, we could come back to it though. I think we come down towards 25.5, and I think we might come back upwards towards a higher point. Not financial advice. I'm glad you made profit. I'm never right 100% of the time. No one, if anyone claims to be right 100% of the time, they're scammers. My camera's dodgy as well. If anyone claims to be right 100% of the time, don't listen to them. You know, they're going to be lying. But that's what I think is going to happen. That's my opinion. That's not financial advice. If you do want to take that trade up, then that is your prerogative. This is the 1 hour, by the way, so this might happen over a decent course of time. However, be careful because the FOMC meeting is happening. That data is going to be coming out. That could be potential for some difficulty in the market, so be careful. This is obviously not financial advice, but I do see potential of us coming back down to test some sort of 25.5. I wish I had a market cipher to come to our aid, but I don't. I don't really see any trend. I think in general, if I go to the 4 hour, it just seems like you can see, you know, we're just in a really nice looking trend here. But again, I mean, it's not exactly, but it's kind of like a, it's kind of like a bear flag, which I've already drawn here. You can see. So do be careful. Again, also be careful, as I've already said when I did TA on it last time. We do have potential to come down to a really low point. So be careful. So on the long run, I think we might come down, but you might catch a nice little 15% move down. But if we, let's say it happened, you know, short position. Let's say it happened around here, coming down to here. That's like 79. You know, that's a good trade. Obviously, 26% is a bit crazy. Obviously, if you just shorted with no leverage, 80% profit could be pretty good. You might want to be a bit conservative on that. So maybe come to about here. 62% could be pretty good. Coming towards there. So this could be a good short. Obviously, chart plan's never 100% of the time. So I think we come back down towards 25.5 just as a test of support. Probably coming back upwards towards a high point about here. Maybe 10% profit around this area. But I think over the long term, you know, coming towards the end of the month, we might have a move down for Maga. So careful, good luck. I wish you well. But anyway, I will look at Maneki. That's my last thing I'm going to look at though. I think how I looked at this. Can't remember. Be funny if I got it wrong. Okay, I did. Why is it purple? Okay, I don't know what I drew. Okay, so we came down. All right, well, this is good, I guess. I mean, I don't really care because this is whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's go to where we are right now. Let's do the 4 hour. Actually, no, let's do 1 hour because obviously, you know, market news and whatnot. So, where are we with this? So, we've kind of got like a downtrend going on. Now, I'm not very good. I don't know if any of you guys use fair value gaps. I'm not very good at them. Some people can use them really well. I'm not very good at them. I don't know when a good one is or not. All I know is when there's a big old gap and you come back to it and you use it as like a reversal thing. Again, any of you use it, let me know. I'm actually going to ignore that. Might be cheating here, but I'm going to ignore it. Additionally as well, a nice looking fair value gap here. You see really nicely use the middle point of that. So a good fair value gap, order block, sorry. We might have a potential middle one as well here. Yeah, roughly here. So I mean, conveniently, it might actually not just have been a fair value gap. It might actually also be an order block. So we've got support here. So it looks like we might be coming up to a bit of a deciding factor. We've also got really negative potential on market side. You can see money flow starting to arc. This is coming down in terms of momentum. VOP's coming down. So I do think we definitely come to at least the midpoint of this, possibly wicking down. Could we break below? That is fully possible. We could possibly have a bit of a move down like this. But again, if we did have that, we're going to be at this order block. This trend line is probably going to catch us. We might surge down. We might have. It's going to be difficult. If we're in this area here, we don't have a lot of room to move. We could break out downwards and come to our support point potentially. It also seems like we might have some sort of support here in this rough area. You can see, there's roughly bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. So there's some sort of resistance here, which is decent. So it could be now support. You can see the midpoint being used pretty nicely. So some sort of support there, potentially. Oh wow, I didn't even see this. Uh-oh. That's bad. That is really not good. Yeah, we're not going to be staying above that. Yeah, okay, so I'm not looking. It's not looking too positive for Maneki, I don't think anyway. We've got lower highs. Obviously we've got higher lows as well, so we're looking like we might do something interesting. But over the general, if I go to if I'm on the 4 hour, let me delete this line quickly. It looks like we're in a good old downtrend. Really, really consistent downtrend here. Already bounced off the top of that line, and we've got a daily order block keeping us below. I think we come down towards our order block down here at 933, whatever. I think there's a short for Maneki. I think we come down somewhere down here. Probably keeping that about here. About two risks rewarded, ain't that bad. 15% potential move down. Something in this way. I think we come down though for Maneki, wherever that may be. So really clear downtrend, as you can see. I could probably shimmy this actually. Yeah, clear downtrend. Already had our bounce off the top, and we've got a daily order block. Probably coming down to a support point down here. Whatever. Probably at least printing on the 4 hour anyway. 8859. I do think. Obviously, best case scenario, if you didn't try and be conservative, 20% possible move down. Obviously, you could put your stop loss a bit higher, lower, but that's your prerogative. So that's what I think. I'm going to keep this up. So you can see on the right hand side, these are the price levels. Hopefully that's on the screen. Yeah, exactly. That is true though. Again, I've tried to say that in most of my charts. It depends on the FOMC meeting. I completely agree. And like I said, I'm going to be trying to be in the Telegram and be available when the meeting happens at 8 p.m. My time anyway, 8 p.m. So if anyone wants me to look at any charts at the aftermath or just kind of watch the charts, I will be there as well if you guys are in the Telegram. But I think that's pretty much it from me. Obviously, hopefully you can see the top there. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you hopefully today was good. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Obviously, if you've just joined us, Reza, I think you might have joined after the indicators. So scroll up on the YouTube chat. There, I'll send it one more time actually. I'm giving the indicators which I use, simple significance and market alpha B. So if you've not got them already, then just stay for 1 more minute, and I will send the link. And then obviously you can use it. You can ask me questions. I'm going to be planning to do a video series on kind of how I use them and how people use them in general, and what you should look for, and kind of what everything means on the indicator. So there is the first one, and here is some significance. There you go. So thank you all so much for joining. Reza, I appreciate you coming to and saying that. I appreciate you saying that it went well. Thank you for letting me know that you did a good trade. It means a lot that it went well. Obviously, again, I always have to try and say I'm never right 100% of the time. but I'm glad I could have helped you trade. Obviously not financial advice. But yeah, those are links to the indicators. If you've got any questions, you know, I will hopefully answer them. Obviously, if there's like 40 people who have questions, I might not do all of them, but thank you, all of you. I am going to be doing that video series soon, hopefully. I'll be back at 7, my time anyway, UTC plus 2, because I'm going to be doing a review stream on a project. It'll be a bit of a calm one. It's just going to be me reading out the website, so nothing too crazy. If you miss it, don't worry. I will also be back on the Telegram at 8 p.m. when the meeting happens, just to see what's going on. So if you guys are there too, I'll say hello. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to stream tomorrow. If any of you guys are available, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. UTC plus 2. I probably might be live as well tomorrow, just to see what's the aftermath of the charts, and I can actually do some sort of analysis because I haven't really done much today because of the news. So thank you all. Again, got any questions, you know where to find me on Telegram, and I will see you later. Goodbye.
Come on, Fitzy.